And now may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be always acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen. I've been keeping up a little bit with this recent NASA expedition to Mars and the idea that eventually NASA is going to want to send people to Mars. Much, much more difficult and expensive than getting people to the moon, obviously. And this last visit to Mars, the pictures they've sent back are just the clarity and in a way the beauty of what appears to be kind of a dead, barren planet, but a planet that we've really never seen like this before. Like I said, I have kind of a mild curiosity in this. It's kind of interesting. I'm not 100% sure why we're going there. I don't think we're going to find anything, like I said, other than a dead planet with rocks. I have heard talk about possible colonization, that maybe we want to eventually build a settlement there. Who knows? But if we do that, then man, the cost is really going to jump. This idea of going to Mars, by the year 2035, I think they're talking about that, of perhaps sending a manned mission to Mars, would be in the neighborhood, in terms of cost, of around 100 billion with a B dollars. And that's a lot of money to spend and go look at rocks. Now, to some people, it's not so much what you find, it's the process of looking. We are, after all, a nation, a people of seekers. We seek things, we look for things, we are constantly looking for the next horizon, the next frontier. Our ancestors were seekers, seeking a new land and new opportunity, coming over from the old world, seeking religious freedom and a chance to do things on their own and be free of tyranny. We are constantly striving and seeking new ways of doing things, new inventions, new discoveries. And you think about the incredible discoveries that have been made. Just say in the last 100 years, you think about what's been going on in technology, for example, and think that 100 years ago, we barely had radio. And now we have this incredible communication where we can talk instantly with anyone, anywhere in the world, almost. We are a nation of seekers and doers and builders and trailblazers. And in a way, that's what Epiphany is about. Today is Epiphany. It's actually Epiphany Sunday, celebrated on January 6th. We end the Christmas season, the 12 days of Christmas, and now move into the season of Epiphany, which precedes Lent. And Epiphany marks the coming of the wise men to see Jesus. Now, biblical scholars and historians aren't 100% sure on how many wise men there were or exactly where they came from. We think there were 3, and we're pretty sure they came from the east. But wherever they came from and how many of them there were, they came a long distance to seek and find the Christ child. It was a dangerous journey for them. And it was a dangerous journey even after they got close to Jesus. Because in our reading this morning, they go to see Herod, and Herod wants these wise men to take him to see Jesus, with the idea, he tells them, of worshiping the child as well. But the wise men know there's something not right about that. There is something not right. And we find out later that what Herod is actually doing is trying to locate the baby Jesus so he can have him killed. Because Herod views him as a threat. If this is the king of the Jews, if this is some kind of royalty, he is a threat to the power of Herod. The wise men realize this, and they do not tell Herod. So, knowing what kind of an evil guy they're dealing with, the fact that they're double-crossing Herod in a way, their lives could have been in danger. So they make this long, difficult, arduous trip to seek and find the Christ child. We are all seekers. We are all looking for something in our lives. And what we are reminded of on Epiphany is, what are you seeking? What are we looking for? We're all looking for something. We're all seeking something as the primary mission in our lives. Is it money? A lot of us seek wealth and make that our priority. Others will seek out fame. They want to be famous. They want people to notice them. They want their name in the paper. That's human pride. And we all have that to a certain degree. Other people seek out and make the focus of their life work. They're going to create their identity around what they do. The point here is not to say that these things are necessarily bad. God knows we need to work. God knows we need money. God knows that on some level we need external validation. The point is, don't make those things the only thing, the primary thing that you're seeking in this life. Because in the end, they are meaningless. At least that's what Solomon tells us in the book of Ecclesiastes. Solomon, perhaps the wisest person in all the world who ever lived, gets to the end of his life and realizes all the things he chased after. All the things he chased after. Money and work and women. And remember, he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. All those things he chased after are meaningless. That's what he says. That's basically what the book of Ecclesiastes is about. That all these things we chase after and seek after are vanity. A chasing after the wind, because they are smoke. Here today, gone tomorrow. From Ecclesiastes 8:17, no one, he says, can comprehend what goes on under the sun. Despite all their efforts to search it out, no one can discover its meaning. Even if the wise men claim they know, they really cannot comprehend it. It's all vanity, all smoke, all too soon gone. What the wise men remind us on Epiphany is the most important thing we can seek and find in this life is Jesus. It's the most important thing. because it is the only thing that will last. Seeking and finding Jesus is the only thing that has eternal perspective. Seeking and finding Jesus is the only thing that can give us true meaning, true peace, true joy, true happiness in this life. Those people that seek those other things, many of them find them. Many of them find incredible wealth. Many of them find incredible fame. And it's still not enough. And sadly, today, we see so many people, young people, rich people, famous people, committing suicide because they found the very thing they sought, and it wasn't enough. Only Jesus truly lasts. Only Jesus can give us peace and joy and meaning to our lives, and certainly only Jesus is a road that leads to salvation. Chasing those other things is ultimately a dead end. Because as we know, you can't take it with you. The wise men seek and find the Christ child, and they worship him. It's not just enough to seek and find Jesus. We have to worship him as well. And if we make the focus of our lives seeking and finding and worshiping Jesus, then we will have sought and found the most important thing that God has to offer. From Matthew 7:7, Jesus said, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks it will be opened." Amen.